In this video, I'm going to spend 50 minutes breaking down a single game of Halo. I know, I'm probably crazy, but hopefully you benefit. The layout for this video is very simple. We're just going to take a look at a full match of Truth Slayer taken right off of Frosty's YouTube page, which you should definitely subscribe to. By the way, he is regularly uploading some of the highest level Halo gameplay you're going to find on the internet. Here's the game we're going to take a look at. It's a Truth Slayer game from Pro Series Grand Finals, meaning this game has some of the best players in the world in it. And not only Frosty is uploading to YouTube as well. I've linked the channels of Boo Boo, Saiyan, and Snakebite below. All three of those players are in this game. They're regularly uploading high quality content, and you can learn a lot by watching them. During this breakdown, I'll be sharing my thoughts on a variety of things on a micro and macro level. So things like Frosty's individual decision making and techniques that he's using and why he's doing them or how he's pulling them off, down to team strategy, team communication, team setup, how Sentinels applies pressure when they have the advantage or how they fight back when they're on the back foot. Because this is by no means one of Sentinels' best games. There are many points in this game where Sentinels is in trouble and you get to see how they react to those situations. So all of this, of course, is with the objective of helping you better understand and learn how to play Halo at this level and hopefully apply it to your own gameplay. Now, I know this is a long video, so to make navigating this video easier, make sure to check the bar below me, the play bar, whatever you want to call it. There's sections. There should be separate sections in the bar that will teach different things in different parts of this video so you can navigate to your liking or just watch it all in one shot. And one more thing before we get into it, I've got to shout out Callous and Paradise Halo. If you guys like Halo team strategy, these are amazing videos for you to check out. Callous is a Halo esports coach, and I personally have learned a ton of macro Halo concepts from him over the years, and I channel some of the things that he's taught me to make better, more well-rounded breakdowns for you guys in my videos today. So very thankful to him, but you should check out his content here that he makes with Paradise Halo. It's his commentary plus the high-level edits from Paradise Halo that make these videos that you really don't want to miss out on, whether you're a Halo 5 fan, classic Halo fan. They got a whole variety of stuff on Halo strategy. So check that out. I've linked it in the description. It's great stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to disappear and we're going to play Frosty's first life till he dies, and then I'll come back, share my thoughts, and then I'll disappear. We play the next life. I come back, share my thoughts, and so on until we get to the end of the video. Super simple. Let's check out the first life.
Yeah, who's going tree? I'm literally gonna start one. I'm gonna get him weak tree.
You want me to go P street? Is someone else gonna do that or no? I know that you go car, so be careful.
Actually,
do your thing though.
Alright,
I'll
yeah,
rush tree then for you.
I'm gonna try to get him weak tree.
I'm already weak.
Yeah, they're shooting me. Shots on Satan, one shot. You're good, PJ, to do whatever you want, pretty much. There's two on PJ there, P. They're throwing at him.
All right, pretty quick first life, but let's take a look at the opening strat. Now, on Truth, typically what I expect to see is a 2-1-1 split between pink, mid, and car. You send 2 out pink side, 1 in mid in the window, and then 1 out car. You send more to pink, typically because camo spawns pink. Camo is a priority, of course. Now, Frosty and team, they do something else, though. They don't send 2 out pink. They send 1 out pink. You can see on the motion sensor, they send Snakebite out right to pink. They send Neptune out left to car, and then Matt, Royal 2, actually stays behind Frosty in the window. So you've got 2 in the center lane, 1 in pink, 1 in car, which means Snakebite is alone to fight for the camo, which would seem kind of odd or unbalanced for a strat, but the reason why I think this works out is because Frosty launches himself into top mid and shoots Saiyan immediately. So I think this is Frosty's main objective here, is to throw himself into top mid as fast as possible with the only real objective of just suppressing players in pink street, and then once he does that, he lets Snakebite know. You can hear it in the communication. He says, Snakebite, you're free to do pretty much whatever you want.
Shots on Satan, one shot. You're good, PJ, to do whatever you want, pretty much. There's two on PJ there, P.
So Frosty, even though he died nice and early in that opening strat, he kind of accomplished his objective. He suppressed pink, and he gave PJ, Snakebite, an opportunity to pick up the camo here. As far as the play itself, nothing too fancy here. The biggest mental note I took is the timing that Frosty used his thrust. Now, normally what I would do in my starting strat is a super jump up into the car attic. I would sprint, thrust slide jump, stabilize, hold crouch, and I'd get up into the attic and skip the clamber. So in this case, I would get there faster than Frosty. He just does a standard sprint, slide jump, and then he clambers up into the window. But the biggest difference is I wouldn't have a thrust anymore, so I would just do a slow jump to top mid. and probably get melted way quicker, or I wouldn't get the same angle that Frosty does, where he does a sprint, jump, thrust, and gets an explosive launch into top mid instead, which is pretty effective for putting damage into Pink. And at the same time, I think Frosty's objective is to get behind this blast shield as fast as possible, because by doing this, it encourages the player in the opposite window to jump forward to try to kill him, which is exactly what happens. That player comes forward, and now Royal 2's position in the window behind Frosty makes complete sense. Royal 2 can put shots into top mid, and he can put shots into Pink. So I'd say it's a relatively well-balanced strat. And it could work out really well in a game, though in this instance, it's not perfect for sure. Snakebite, he does get camo, but Snakebite's still ultimately alone here, and when these two players challenge back out Pink, Royal 2 can't do too much to help, so Snakebite ends up burning the camo in the end. So solid strat, does have its risks, but interesting, you know, in comparison to your typical 2-1-1. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for here. Let's move on.
We can do trades. Trav, I'm looking. Just get him weak. One shot, car one shot.
Come in, one hit.
Looking.
Oh, he went, I got him.
They're straight, blue. I'm trying. Nice. The last guy blue. Listen, they're trapped.
I'm going car.
Alright.
I'm under blue.
Yep.
Alright, one blue.
Yo, bound's gonna spawn weird.
I'm here. 5-3 in top blue.
Nice, yeah, we're pushing in blue now. Matt, I'm gonna be behind you. I can trade your kill.
Blue two. Careful, guys.
Matt, I'm here. Yo, Matt, I need help. Blue door, Sane. I hit him 3 times behind you.
One hit behind you.
He's jumping up at 3 shots in. Alright.
Now this life is interesting because you get to see a bit of Sentinel's game plan. What they're trying to do is create a spawn trap in the enemy base, though execution doesn't quite work out, and we'll talk about it when we get there. As far as the spawn here, Royal 2, you can see he's making his way out to Pink. PJ is dead, he died picking up camo, and you've got Neptune up on top mid. Now Frosty, hearing Neptune's call out that he's in a fight, Frosty's going to sprint, jump, and stabilize out the window. This is a great use of stabilize. Of course, it gives him more of an angle to work with. He can see a greater field of view. If Bound decides to back off, Frosty can still put shots in, and Frosty does this because he knows he's got a thrust in the back pocket that can keep him tethered to that window the moment that somebody shoots him, or if he runs out of stabilize, he goes right back to the window, and he doesn't give up high ground, doesn't worry about dropping into bottom mid. So good use of stabilize. He gets the kill here, and then he stays in red, decides to put some shots into Pink. The biggest thing that Frosty's paying attention to here is Royal 2. Matt up in P2. Matt's in a big fight with Fallocated. If Matt wins this fight, then he gets control of P2. You can see how Frosty put shots into Pink Street to back off that other player, and then he's going to wait and see what happens with Matt. Here you'll notice Royal 2, you can see it on the kill feed. He gets a nade kill on Fallocated. This is huge because that gives Matt control of P2, and now you can see a bit of a setup starting to form here. Now, P2 in control of Royal 2, that's going to block Pink side spawns. Frosty in red base is going to block red side spawn, and then PJ seeing this, PJ decides to fly forward through bottom mid and get under blue base. At the same time, Neptune just spawned up. You can see him on the motion sensor. Neptune's going to go out car door and try to block car. So what they're trying to do is force a spawn in the top of blue base. Even though PJ is in the basement of blue, because all the other spawns are blocked, top blue spawn is still going to be open. The way it works out is you end up having a blue base spawn and a blue car bubble spawn, and that's because Neptune has to take time to run. Like Neptune's running through car to get up to car 2. You can see now he's up on car 2. So some of the spawners, I think, end up spawning over in blue side car. Some of them spawn over in top blue. And of course, we don't have theater at the moment, so it's hard to tell exactly how it went down. But the biggest reason why this play doesn't work out, as far as the setup, it was perfect, but the play doesn't work out. And that's because Frosty is very worried about the potential of Bound spawning behind him. Now, the spawn timer in Halo 5 is 8 seconds. You get a kill, that player then spawns up 8 seconds later. So when Frosty gets this kill on Bound, it's at about 11:38, 11:39, let's say, on the clock. So at 11:31 or 11:30, around that time, is when Bound is going to spawn up. And Frosty, at that time, is standing right here. He's standing right up in the car attic. Interesting thing about spawns, in Truth Slayer at least, is when you're up in this car attic, you're not actually blocking all of red base. Bottom red base is still technically open, so there is still potential that Bound could have actually spawned under him right in this moment. Though I don't think that happens. Bound ends up spawning either in top blue or over blue car, but Frosty is rightfully concerned about this because everybody pushed forward and Frosty's still in this window. So he hesitates for a second. Honestly, I think if he was really thinking about the spawn timer, which would have been hard to kind of consider in this moment, if he had that 8 seconds down, though, he would know that if Bound had spawned, Bound would probably already jump up, try to shoot Frosty by now. So Frosty Had he had confidence that Bound wasn't spawning there, he should have immediately flown either through Pink Street or maybe even top mid. But we'll talk about the potential of flying top mid in a second. But either way, Frosty should have probably pushed forward earlier here. But instead, he hesitates. He's unsure about where Bound is. You'll see he even kind of checks bottom red for a split second. And all of this is kind of a timing loss. You'll hear it in the communication. At around this point, Snakebite is sitting in the bottom of blue base. And Snakebite's like, are we going to challenge? Is this going to happen?
Bouncing this one weird.
Car 3 in top blue.
Nice, yeah, we're pushing in blue now. Matt, I'm gonna be behind you.
So you can hear their timing is a little off, and then as a result, this ends up being kind of a sloppy collapse here. Frosty comes in with Royal 2, Snakebite's already dead, Neptune's already dead on Car, and now you're looking at a 2v3. You've got 2 kills versus the 1 kill that Neptune got on Bound, so it's a 2v3 here, Frosty and Royal 2, and they don't get their kills here, I think they get 1, maybe. Frosty gets the nade on Boo Boo Doo Boo, but then Frosty dies, Royal 2 dies, so it brings the score back to 7-7. So they had kind of won in that opening strat. They had gotten 4 kills, but after this collapse, brought things back to even.
Fuck, I got naded.
Alright. Yo, try to just control the map if you get kills, alright?
On P3 ready, P3.
Yeah, P3 and top mid. Yo, pushing under red, PJ, soaring. It's under red.
P3, P1.
Yeah, Eli, PJ, there's 2. Boo Boo's 1 shot for red, guys. Eli dead. Another one.
Ready,
Okay.
P2.
I'm looking.
Top mid.
I'm talking P2.
Yeah, he's combo on me. 1 shot. Dead. I'm living. Alright. They're trapped. Nice, get up. Listen, I'm getting up blue. Listen, there's one red. Make him spawn red.
He's in the chase. I'm here.
Yeah, we're window. Boob, I hit him twice. He's like 3 shots. Alright, nice. They're all trapped red. Yeah, keep doing that. Let's trap him on spawn.
I'll be on that.
Listen, I'm going pink. PJ, I'm gonna have shots Eli. Help me, Eli.
Ready, 1 hit, Ricardo.
One hit.
Help me, Eli.
Ready, Eli.
Piedic. Another one. Dead. Yeah, he's here. Foul. Going window, guys. Dead.
Under.
Yeah, front run, guys. Bound. I'm looking. Window dead. Alright, listen, they're all gonna be blue, alright?
I do not know what time camo is. I hear that, I'm waiting.
That's your bubble.
I got you.
PG, I'm helping you. I'm helping you, P. Blue window.
Yo, car one to bottom mid down. Hit him 3 times round, bottom mid.
2 blue.
What's up, bottom mid? I might die.
Under blue. Car one bound, Trav. He's looking at you.
2 blue door.
PJ, I'm challenging.
They're all challenging. Camo's up.
Yeah, one in car 2 on me.
Chow, PJ. Another one camo.
He got camo.
Alright.
You got it 42. Yeah, top mid. He went car one bound.
I'll see car 1.
Nice camo. What up, man, camo? Here, he's on me. Shoot. I hit him. Nice. Good fucking kill.
Nice job, bro.
Now this is an incredible life from Frosty. Easily one of the best in the entire game. From start to finish, there's big brain plays throughout in this life. So starting with him just on spawn here, of course, they did that kind of, unfortunate collapse on blue base that they sort of lost. And as a result, they lost pink side control. You'll see when Frosty spawns, he jumps and stabilizes to shoot at pink. And in this one stabilize, you can see all 4 members of the team. You got one on P3. There's one that I'm covering on bottom mid right down there. There's another on top mid that you can see behind the shield. And then the 4th player is just coming up. I think he's coming up Pink Street. He's over near P2. So the entire enemy team he can see in this one stabilize. And the biggest thing to note, on top of them having pink control, is what these players are doing. Frosty notices one player in front of him dropping off of top mid and making his way over to red base. So he, in this one jump, understands that they're going from pink and they're challenging into red. So he thrusts right, notices he's got PJ in front of him, and listen to his communication here. It's so smart.
Yeah, P3 and top mid. Yo, pushing under red. PJ soaring. It's under red.
Going under red.
This was such a great response to the situation. Just think about it. Inconceivables has pink side control, and Frosty notice they're sending players towards red. They're going to try to get them to flank under red. So Frosty tells Snakebite, and without a second's hesitation, Snakebite drops in a toilet. Frosty drops into the bottom of the lift, and they're going to take their fights from under here, which is so smart. They get isolated battles here. Imagine if Frosty went top red and tried to look out the window. He'd get crossed from pink or top mid, and he'd have players coming under the base to take him out from behind. Same with Snakebite. If he stayed on Pink Street, he gets screwed from multiple directions. So this way, they get isolated fights, and at the same time, Matt and Trav are going to try to fight for top mid, fly through top mid and bottom mid to try to take over Pink from the other side. So you get this nice 2-2 split, and Frosty and Snakebite can focus their fights onto the base, and they can bait and switch with each other under the base. This is a perfect defense to this collapse. Just a really heads-up play by Frosty to recognize it. Of course, pay attention to kill feed and the slays that they're getting here as well. Trav, Neptune, 1-2 makes a big thrust slide all the way over to the opposite side, Pink, to finish off a kill here. And Frosty paying attention to the kill feed. I think at least three are dead in this situation. Frosty makes such a heads-up play here. Take a look at this.
Nice, get up. Listen, I'm getting off blue. Listen, there's one red. Make him spawn red. Make him spawn red.
He's in the chase. I'm here.
Yeah, we're window. Boob, I hit him twice. He's like 3 shots. Alright, nice. They're all trap red. Yeah, keep doing that. Let's trap them on spawn.
Sentinel's communication and teamwork here was on point. Frosty noticed that there was 3 dead. You'll see it in the kill feed. 1, 2, 3. And he immediately called, I'm getting off red. I'm getting off red. His objective is to open the red base. He knows from communication that there's one more player, and that player is in blue. And Frosty has no problem challenging that player and taking him out. The way that he crosses bottom mid to get into blue is very efficient as well. Notice how he does a thrust slide, grabs the tac mag as he slides across the floor, and then jumps and does a scoreboard spring jump with momentum to get a nice high arcing jump and immediately clamber the ledge. The beauty of this scoreboard spring jump is it's so high arcing that it really frees up your hands as well. Technically speaking, he wouldn't need to, but technically he could have even tossed a nade before he clambered and naded into blue base at the same time, which would have been nuts. But it's just a very, very efficient way to get to top mid, and also the timing that he burns thrust is so effective too. He's burning thrust here instead of later, and he's hands-free flying through the air here. Of course, this is a scoreboard spring jump, so he's holding jump and crouch in the air, brings up scoreboard, and then releases crouch while still holding jump, and then releases scoreboard the moment he hits the floor. I have a detailed tutorial on how this works. It's linked in the description, but scoreboard spring jump is going to get him right up into the window. He's going to fire shots on the Boo Doo here. That player gets taken out by Neptune, and then look at the setup that's taking place here. After Frosty communicated he's leaving red base and opening up the spawn, his teammates knew exactly what to do. You can see Matt, Royal 2 is on car 1, also getting an angle into blue to help with the kill there, but he's immediately going to reposition himself up on either car 2 or near a car bubble to block the car side. At the same time, Snakebite is already on the pink street. He's making his way up to P2 to block pink side. Neptune, Trav, is directly above Frosty, and you can hear it in their communication as well, as Frosty goes up Pink Street, and then Neptune recognizes what Frosty is doing, so Neptune says, I'm going to join you, Matt. He goes car side instead. So now we have a 2-2 push coming up Pink Street and coming up car side at the same time to collapse on a guaranteed red base spawn. It's just so smart, so well timed. This is what a perfect base collapse looks like, and watch the slays as they go down here. They get all 4 dead here. I think they lose 1 in the meantime, but he fires shots in. He's got, of course, Snakebite with him. They got 2 coming in the other side. Like, what do you do as Inconceivables in this situation when you're spawning in red and you got 2 coming in car, 2 coming in pink? This is basically how you play Perfect Halo in Slayer. Notice how Frosty gets a red bar with Phallicated here as well. Obviously, I have the tutorial on the red bar glitch up as my last video, but just to give some context here, this player, Phallicated, would have had to be either 5 shots in or 6 shots in. There needs to be a minimum 2-shot difference for this to work, because you'll notice Frosty is a 3-shot beatdown right now. So Phallicated is probably either 5 shots or 6 shots. So when it trades, you get a red bar. Of course, I've got the glitch video. If you haven't seen it, you should check that out, also in the description. But that creates the red bar. Frosty lives up. He stays alive here. They get the next kill as well. Or actually, Boo Boo gets a kill on Neptune, so they lose 1. And then they finish off Bound, they finish off Boo Boo. So that's 4 dead for 1 kill. So they wiped out 4 players, only lost 1 in the process. Now it's 16-8 on the board, and the same type of thing is starting to happen. Frosty is anchoring from red base, and he's already thinking they're going to be spawning blue side, could also be blue side car. Something you'll notice is that Snakebite, super aware of what's going on here. Snakebite is already, and I'm blocking the motion sensor, Snakebite's already on P2 in this situation. He already started backing up Pink Street. Well, once he knew his teammates had pushed up, they'd started collapsing in the base. So he knows exactly what to do to get back into position and to ensure that it's a blue side spawn once again. So Frosty going to stay back in red. This is a recreation of the same type of setup. Of course, they don't quite have that same timing, so they can't afford just to just dive right away. And at the same time, it's 10:07 on the timer here. Camo's about to come up. PJ's already communicating that. So Frosty is in a great anchor position, head on a swivel here too. He knows they're coming from blue, maybe blue cars, so he's going to look back and forth, listen to communication with his teammates, and try to, chip in and help out where he can. He gets a nice kill shot on Fallicated. He goes back out into the window and still looking around, waiting for a chow. Bound ends up chowing out through bottom mid. He gets 3 shots in him, thrusts over to the attic, and then he lets them know he's going over to pink side here. Camo's coming up. They got a 3-1 kind of setup here. You got Trav on P1, PJ up on P2, Frosty making his way to pink, and Royal 2 is going to spawn in the base, and then Royal 2 immediately goes out through the car attic to look car side. And it's good to have one player here just to make sure you don't have that threat of a flank. Matt's doing a very important job by being that anchor in that situation. The rest of them going to focus on controlling pink, setting up for Camo. The communication here is great as well. Listen to Frosty's communication with Snakebite as they trade out kills here.
Under blue. Car one bound, Trav. He's looking at you, PJ, I'm chilling.
They're all challenging. Camo's up.
Yeah, one car two on me.
Chow, PJ. Another one, Camo.
He got Camo.
Very helpful communication from Frosty here, letting PJ know when he's challenging out the pink door. They know they can challenge together or bait and switch. Just having that communication of when you're pushing out so you get the team fire on these players is so damn useful. Now, of course, Fallicated made a huge play in the meantime. You can see him actually on the radar here. He went ahead. He thrust slid down to P1 and he slipped in there after killing Neptune as well. Managed to grab the camo. So big play from him, but they get slays at the same time. And Frosty knows because they have numbers, he's just going to fly into P1 here. His objective is to find Fallicated as fast as he can. He doesn't care if he exposes himself in bottom mid, if he's out in the floor here. He just needs to find Fal. Honestly, this is perfect. I think Fal probably should have waited a little longer to shoot Frosty because Frosty doesn't really care if he's in a bad spot here. He just needs that info so that he can get this kill as fast as possible. He manages to get like 2 combo shots in him. PJ's above, comes in, collapses, takes out Camo. That's a massive play. If Fal played that more passively and waited, his teammates could have spawned up. They might have been able to work together and actually, make some big plays there, and Val could have stayed alive, but taking out Camo is huge. So this is just a massive life overall. 21-13 after that life, and it was 7-7 at the start.
All right, we just got to trade kills. Matt, they don't know you're there, but... Nice, live. Buy time now. We literally spawned on you. There's 2 on me, Eli. Bounds Eli, guys. Going low, Matt, going low. He's going to be your toilet right now.
Yo, don't drop. I'm in.
Bro, it's so fucked. He's about a tunnel and car one flanking red. Car one to red right now, Brad. Car one to red right now.
I'm looking car one red.
Oh, he's about to start car one.
Car one shot. Yeah. 3 shots in red 2. Look at P2, boo boo.
They're just 3P for free.
Yeah, P2's weak, boo boo. Oh, nice shots. Red bubble, guys. Red bubble is weak. Nice, good fucking trades, guys. PJ, watch your pink. Yo, car one. Splitting. Car one.
Yeah, he's going red side car.
P2.
I'm looking car one.
Anyone at car one?
Red 2 is gonna come. Yo, listen, there's 2 red 2. Listen, focus. Fuck car. Focus the bases. They're top mid. They're trapping you guys.
Car one, PJ.
Top mid and car, bro.
Alright, we gotta stop dying. On spawn, literally just like no reason to die ever. Just live. I'm under red right now. Bottom mid, PJ. Yo, get shot. Yo, under red bound. One shot under red. One shot absolutely under red, guys.
It's on red.
Top mid's still weak, guys.
Nice, get up. Yeah, just live, Trav. Just live. Under red as well.
It's very clear after watching this sequence just how much of a momentum game Slayer is in Halo 5. As fast as Sentinels pull away, Inconceivables comes right back. Now, it all starts with this camo play here where they take out Fallicated, which is great. Had they not killed Fallicated, this could have been a lot worse, but in doing so, 3 of them go down. Frosty dies, Snakebite dies, Neptune dies. You can see that on the kill feed. So they're 3 dead. Matt, Royal 2, is the last one up in technically a 3v1, though he does kill Saiyan right away, which is great. So now it's a 2v1, but you'll hear in the communication here that they're telling Matt to stay alive, to play your life. The last thing they want is for Matt to die and for the full team to go 4 dead and for the team to be caught in another spawn cycle, another spawn trap. What these players are trying to do here is stay alive as long as possible and at the very least to get a trade. If they can trade with Inconceivables when they're down in the bases like this, then they can stop, they can cripple Inconceivable's ability to collapse collapse on these bases and to maintain map control. So the biggest thing is to slow it down here, try to stay alive, which is funny because Frosty's calling that out. Though Frosty gets a little bit overzealous here. He knows Boo Boo's weak up in P2. He decides to try to challenge forward, but Bound is making his way into the base, so Frosty gets melted pretty quickly here. His communication is great, though. He can see Bound going under the base, so he lets Matt know he's going to come up from toilet, though despite that, Sentinels is in a lot of trouble here. They're being pressured. You'll see Matt goes down, so Frosty going to play it slow off of his next life. He spawns up in bubble, just going to listen to team communication. He's not going to peek out until he's absolutely sure where an enemy is, so he can try to get a trade. He can be effective on the map. So he waits, he hears that there's one car one, and then he will eventually jump out, try to put shots into this player in car. He gets some help here. Once again, the objective, they're trying to get any kills that they can to stop this momentum, this pressure that's coming in. You got shots infalcated, but then Boo Boo Doo is staying in P2. He has control of P2 here, and these are amazing shots from Boo Boo Doo here. Like 99% of players will not hit these shots. He hit near perfect shots on Frosty, but this is a perfect example of how powerful that P2 spot is. Even if Boo Boo didn't hit all these shots, you can tell that he has way more cover than Frosty has. He can very easily go left or right and get cover, whereas Frosty jumping up here on car 2, he's in complete open space. All he really has to work with is he's trying to shoot around this platform, the combo platform, and make that work, but he's basically a sitting duck up on car, whereas Boo Boo can back out very easily. Still, Boo Boo, amazing shots, takes down Frosty, puts him back on spawn once again. And you can tell at this point, things are getting a little chaotic. Right before Frosty had died, if you look at the kill feed, you can see Bound killed Neptune, Falcated killed Snakebite. They did get the trade to kill Saiyan, but then Frosty goes down to Boo Boo shortly after, so it puts them at 3 dead. While Frosty's on respawn, his teammates are already spawned up. They're fighting for car side once again. They get a crucial trade on Bound. Royal 2 takes out Bound, which is a big trade. Also, we're going to talk about Bound and where he spawns a little bit later, but Frosty being very efficient while he's down on respawn here. He's switching to his teammates' perspectives. He goes over to PJ, who's in blue base, and he's circling around with the camera and trying to get as much information as he can, just scanning the map, doing anything he can to help out. And by scanning, he does notice a player flanking through bottom mid to get to car 1. He can call that out to his teammates. Now, Frosty gets a pretty interesting spawn here. Despite PJ being seemingly alone in blue base, Frosty ends up spawning on the opposite side of the map in red, which creates kind of a weird situation. They're very spread out, a little too spread out. It's going to be harder to help each other, play off of each other with PJ in blue side like this. Part of the reason why Frosty spawned red might be because of the fact that Neptune, Trav is over in red car bubble, but I find the spawn system in Halo 5 is less concerned with where your teammates are, and it's more concerned with where the enemies are. So I think what it really is in this moment, even though PJ seems alone, there could be somebody pushing him over on pink side. It could also be a combination of the fact that there's a player that was red side pink who's leaving red side pink and going to P2, and there's a player bottom mid, but on the blue side of bottom mid, transferring over to car 1. So all of these things made the spawn system think that red base would be the safest, most ideal place to spawn Frosty. Now, Frosty making a good decision. He's going to join up with his teammates here. They want to be in a situation where they're working together. They can collapse together to get these trades to reset the situation. However, because of this weird, very spread out kind of setup they have with PJ in blue, Trav up in car, Frosty now here in red car, red base is now technically open again. You know that there's some enemy players over on pink side. Bound, remember, was on respawn. So Bound, I believe, he either spawned on red side pink or he spawned in the back of red base, just because of how spread out they are. PJ is going to take away influence from blue. Car is definitely not going to be a spawn because there's fights happening on car. The enemy's only on pink, so Bound spawned either red side pink or red base, which means he's going to get to shoot Frosty in the back for free right off of his spawn. So this is kind of the unfortunate snowball effect that's happening in the situation because they're spread out. They got to figure out some sort of a strategy here. And Frosty calls out, screw the bait. He says, F the car bubbles, F car side.
Two's gonna come. Yo, listen, there's 2 red 2. Listen, focus, fuck car. Focus the bases. They're telling me they're trapping you guys.
And focus the bases, which I like that call out from Frosty, because if you think about it, let's say they fight for car side and they control car side. Well, if you control car, then you get access to red base, you get access to blue base, and you can shoot across to pink. But that's not as ideal as slaying out a base, because if you control a base, you get equal access to pink and car, the most important areas of the map to be controlling, of course, along with top mid. So if they can slay out a base and then start from the base, they can create that same kind of anchor situation and spread out to get to pink side, to car side. It's a more effective strategy. Or at least that's my take on the situation. I'm open to any theories you guys want to share in the comments, so feel free. But either way, by the time Frosty makes that call out, his team's already pretty committed. Frosty's dead, Royal 2 goes down, Neptune went down, Snakebite is now down as well, so that's a full 4 dead without any return on their side, so they know all 4 are up. They likely have map control, and they're probably going to collapse on this red base. So Frosty knows to play passively off this spawn here. He's not going to run out the door, not going to run out pink. He's just going to wait, and they're going to try to get their picks, try to get their trades, and reverse this situation. You notice that Trab, Neptune, and Royal 2, they're in the base with Frosty, but PJ actually spawns up in blue on the opposite side. So this could have to do with the timing that Inconceivable's decided to push into the base. It could also do with the fact that there's a player up on top mid, which we'll see, but Bound, he flies in the front door here. Frosty and Bound get into an exchange here. Frosty actually is the second one to burn the thrust, but Bound just hits really nice shots here and still manages to get the win in the fight. And this is exactly it right here. So you got a player up on top mid. That player on top mid, if he's looking into red, he could take influence off a red base and potentially open up that blue spawn for Snakebite to spawn out behind him. And now Snakebite, who can sprint, jump, stabilize, he can get shots on this player from behind for free. So kind of an interesting dynamic. And I mean, not that that situation wouldn't happen had they pushed in from Pink and Car side if they did it really early, but that's just something to know about being on top mid, is that the risky kind of dynamic that comes with controlling top mid. Be ready for that spawn behind you. But Frosty now down, Neptune, PJ, Royal 2 going to try to do their best to trade out kills, and you'll see they're doing that. Frosty, of course, when he spawns, he's going to fly over to Pink side, try to control the camo because it's 8:08. Camo's going to be up within the next 30 seconds or so.
Yeah,
I'm going P1. I'm going P1.
All right.
It was weak on red.
Yeah, Bound,
Two
Car 2 weak. Okay.
Careful, bro. Careful.
Yeah, Car 2. I can't look at you, Jeff.
You're Eli. 2, you're Eli.
Car 2.
They're both weak. They're both weak.
Top mid, Bound. Get this kill, PJ.
I'm in.
One shot, P2. Yo. Alright, we gotta fucking live when we spawn.
Camo, guys. Camo.
Yeah, Camo's gonna be up soon.
Dude, red P, just ego talent.
I'm looking blue P.
Foul. We never kill blue Eli. Foul.
Yeah, foul. One bullet. I got him.
P2's weak.
Yo, come on, front blue, guys. Front blue, under blue, yep.
Spawn red.
He naded me.
Camo's on me.
Okay.
Camo guy's weak, bro. Camo guy's weak.
That one
Yeah,
hit.
just
Bottom in. Bottom in.
Boo dead, Camo dead. One shot Eli.
Down.
Yeah, saying I need help though.
No, it
Yeah,
was
Bound weak, insane weak. They're both weak blue Eli.
Still a rough situation for Sentinels here, but soon that's about to change. Now, Frosty, in the previous life, had went down in bottom red here. Inconceivables was collapsing on red from both sides. PJ got the spawn over in blue from behind and tries to cross this player top mid. Everybody ends up making a commitment over to red base, and they're all battling in red. You can see it going off in the kill feed here. Frosty, who spawns on the opposite side of the map, recognizes he has the freedom to get to P2, so he's very quickly going to go to P2. Not only is this an important area to control, but Camo's coming up shortly as well. It's 8:06 on the board. As Frosty's making his way to Pink, he notices that Bound had spawned up in blue side Car bubble. They're going to end up fighting from Pink to Car here. Frosty, of course, at the same time listening to callouts. He knows PJ just went down. Neptune's going to be in a fight over on red Eli. There's 2 enemy players on red Eli. There's 1 up on Car 2. So Frosty's going to have a bit of a double dilemma here. He's going to back down from that fight and then toss a pre-nade over to the Pink Street, the red side Pink Street, to try to stop anybody who might challenge him, and he's going to try to fight top mid at the same time. Now, the interesting thing that happens here is while he's fighting top mid, of course, he makes a good call out too. He notices PJ behind Bound, so he says, PJ, help me with this fight, right? PJ can get free shots from behind, but what he's not listening to is Matt, and it's kind of hard to hear in the comms, but Matt Royal 2 is right beside Frosty in blue base, calling out that there's somebody on blue Eli.
Look at you, Jeff.
You're Eli. 2, you're Eli.
Car 2.
They're both weak.
Top mid, Bound. Get this kill, PJ.
I'm in.
One shot, P2. Yo. Alright, we gotta fucking live when we spawn.
That player on blue Eli was phallicated, and you can't see him on Frosty's POV, but I think I have a good idea of what he did, where he spawned. He dies at around 8:12, 8:11, so he must spawn kind of 8 seconds later from there, so either 8:04 or 8:03. And at that moment, we'll see where Frosty is up on P2 here, so right around here is when phallicated spawning. So I think with Bound, who had spawned, Bound had just previously spawned over in blue side Car, I think phallicated also spawned somewhere over in blue side Car, but what Foul probably did was went straight forward out front of blue base. And in this moment, you'll notice that PJ and Matt, they were in fight. Snakebite is just getting killed in red right now, so red base is likely blocked as a spawn. So I think what happened is Foul went out front base and Royal 2 still spawned in blue because there was action still happening over on the red side. So Royal 2 still spawned in blue, and you'll notice when Frosty kind of peeks out here, you can see Royal 2 is falling off of the front of blue base going under the base. So I think Falcated went out from car, out to front blue, went under the base, took Royal 2's attention, and Royal 2 decided to chase him under the base. Now, whether or not Royal 2 should have chased him under base here, maybe should have played passively from above, that's up in the air. At the same time, you could say Frosty, this would have been really difficult for Frosty, but maybe what he could have done was shot bound a couple times. Here's a pre-nade, shoot bound, tell Snakebite to finish bound, and then take cover and turn and look Eli at the same time and try to contribute well in cover in P2, try to contribute to that fight, which would be very tough. Frosty's in like a triple dilemma here, trying to deal with all three of these from pink, or knowing that players are coming from red side pink. What if Frosty was to take this fight with bound, and while fighting, bound somehow rotates over to the Eli, so like jump thrusts to Eli and avoids the fight somehow, it doesn't die, and then turns and they double team the guy in blue, and then they come back, use their numbers to retake pink after. I don't know, I'm just theory crafting at this point, but either way, it's kind of a heads up play from Falcated to go out front blue and to keep blue base open so he can then get the surprise attack on Royal 2. If he had gone through blue base, he likely would have blocked that blue base spawn and forced Matt to spawn behind him in the bubbles, one of the, either blue or red bubble, because his teammates were blocking the red side spawn. So I don't know if Fal was aware of what he was doing there, but it worked out pretty well. Frosty goes down here, of course. They end up giving up Camo. Camo goes over to the blue side here, and Frosty spawns up. He's going to go right back through this blue side perimeter here, knows that Falcated is still on blue Eli, and he's going to challenge him to try to get this kill. Frosty makes a huge play to kill Camo here as well, but of course, while they're in blue base, they're going to play it slow, getting information. Somebody's out front blue here, PJ, who's dead. PJ spawns up and calls out that he spawned red, which is a really helpful call out from PJ. At about this point, he says, I spawned red, which just lets Frosty and team know that the enemy are all pressuring. They're coming into blue. They're likely all coming through pink side right now into blue, plus the one player who was out front. So it's just kind of a good indication for PJ that they are committing themselves. You can see them up on Pink Street. So this is right behind Frosty's cam here, but there's Camo right there, and there's Bound, of course. These are all three players. This Camo player, Frosty spots him for a second and then places his reticle there perfectly and starts pre-firing. I thought this was so amazing from Frosty. Just the way that he connected these shots onto Camo was very intelligent. Just by seeing that flash, that little flash of Camo in that spot, he immediately flicks his reticle over and then just starts pre-firing in that exact spot, and it lines up and he hits the shot. So just really great awareness from Frosty to set that up and to connect those shots in advance. Had he not pre-fired, had he not set up his reticle, he might not have snapped onto Boo Boo. He might not have gotten that crucial Camo kill. So that was a huge Camo kill right there. Of course, still being pressured in blue. He gets a little overwhelmed here. Snakebite gets a big kill though. Frosty will go down and go on spawn, but things completely change on this next life.
Nice. Bound. And under blue, guys. I have 3 shots dead. Listen, I have all the card. They're trapped in red. Do not fucking move.
Red one, stay.
Car 1 on me. Car 2 on me. Car 2 on me.
He's going to fall car one. Red side.
Go.
Yo, tier 2.
I one hit. I'm looking at
Is that the guy? Is that the guy?
3-1 hit red. Cardboard, P-door. Careful, you guys are getting. Nope, I got needed.
P1 down.
P1 hit, careful, guys. P1 hit, red window. Go for it. He chased me, Brad.
Got him. Two right 2 on me. 2 right 2 on me. I'm chilling.
Staying 1 hit, under red car. Staying 1 hit.
Nice, get up. Another one under red or something? Yeah. Nice, get up, guys.
Watch out for car deck. He's gonna go front.
I'm looking, Trav. Yeah, he's under blue, Trav. PJ, they're all spawning car. You need to live. Listen, all trap them all car. Do not fucking die right now. Listen, this guy red bubble, they're gonna spawn blue bubble.
Staying 1 hit, blue bubble.
Car 2. They might push me. PJ, play your life, bro. Red car door, Peach.
Red car door.
I shot one shot on me, Fal.
I'm pushing car 2. Yo, top car, trap on you. One shot, blue. 1 hit. Shot red car 1.
Dead.
Right 2. Red car door, shot him once. Red bubble.
Dead. Right 2 sand. Matt, push him out for me.
Down blue 2.
I'm looking at Eli.
I'm on the blue left. Camo's
He's one bullet, Matt. Right 2, dead. Good shit. Camo, guys.
2 blue 2. Camo.
Alright, listen, trap him all blue. Wait for him to spawn. Matt, P2. Let's go P2, Trav. Can you look at P2 or not? I'm looking blue street. I don't see him. P2, Boo Boo, 1 shot. I need up. One shot blue street, guys. Boo Boo, out in the fucking open. Camo's up. Camo's up. Boo Boo has camo. Dead. P1. Bottom mid weak. Same. Bottom mid weak.
This life, in my opinion, is Frosty's best life in the entire game. Not only did this life turn around the game for Sentinels, but by the time it's over, Sentinels is basically won. There is so much to cover here, so let's get into it. But just to start, you can see Saiyan is down on the kill feed, so Saiyan is currently dead. They have one dead. He's going to be up on spawn in about 3 seconds or so, and then Frosty off spawn here looks over to blue, sees 2 players, gets shots into Boo Boo, finishes off bound, 1-2. That's 2 dead, 3 dead in total. Saiyan's just spawning up probably around now in red base. So this is exactly what Sentinels was looking for. 3 dead, they're all up. This is the perfect situation to set up a base collapse, and you can see the moment they get these kills, everybody starts to file in line to they start to take position, essentially. You can see when Frosty turns over to Car, everyone's coming forward. You got Neptune coming up to pink, you got Matt joining him in pink, you've got PJ who's going through bottom mid to get to top mid. They're all going to converge around that red base to get that collapse. Now Frosty, one thing he didn't consider, one player was alive, and that was Fallicated. Fallicated managed to get up into Car, get behind Frosty. He must have gone under Car and got around behind Frosty, got shots into him. Now Fallicated could have actually ruined this entire play, and it's kind of lucky that he decided to go over to red Car, over to the door instead, because I was thinking, he ends up spotting Fallicated in the door. I was thinking, what if Fal went to blue Car or went to blue base? He could have ruined this entire play. Knowing that his teammates were spawning over on red side, if he was in that anchor position from behind in a flank position, not only would he take Frosty's attention for longer, but he would have Frosty out of the field to play on the base collapse, which would have been huge. But instead, Fal went back to red base. So he kind of, I think, gave Frosty and Sentinels an opportunity to make this work. But still, this collapse is not going to come easily. He does get the kill on Fallicated, which is a good start, but he also loses Neptune. He loses Snakebite. Neither of them get any kills. So it's a 3v2 right now. Inconceivables has an advantage in numbers. He's only got Royal 2 across the map here. But Frosty makes an amazing play. He hears the call out for bound flying to P1, decides to challenge him, and this is so smart. He jumps forward on the challenge. He does this for a couple reasons. He knows that he's down in numbers right now. If he tries to shoot somebody in pink across the map from Car side, there's a very good chance that somebody's going to come into the Car door and shoot him for free. He's exposing himself to the Car door angle. So he knows that. He knows that he could be shot in his right-hand side. He also knows that by jumping forward, he's closing the distance between himself and his teammate Royal 2. He can get closer to Royal 2, and there's a better chance they can work together and play off of each other. So this is amazing for those two huge reasons, because when he jumps forward here, he cuts the angle. Somebody does try to challenge. I believe it's Saiyan trying to challenge him from behind. He cuts the angle. He stays alive. You can see the radar right here. That player is running, is sprinting. That's how Frosty knows this player is sprinting, because he's popping up on the radar. So Frosty decides to sprint too. He's going to have to fly under red base. He cannot afford to just walk and get back his shields, because he'll get caught by Saiyan, who's currently flying. So he dives under the base. He thrusts under. This jump is so clean too. Make sure you're paying attention to jumps like this. He turns around, hits a crouch jump. It's not very hard to do. It's just the timing of that jump. You need to be able to hit this in a nice smooth sequence without stopping yourself while coming up from underneath. So it's an early time jump before he actually hits the ledge, turns around and catches it without wasting any time. The reason I say that this is important is because Frosty would have died. Frosty would have definitely died if he didn't do that jump perfectly. You can see him get shot in the back once here. Bam, he takes one shot as he clambers up. If he was a millisecond, just a fraction of a second too late on that jump, he would have died. So just take note of these clean little optimizations and movement that Frosty does. This is what keeps him alive in these situations. Of course, he got that kill on bound with the nade. He's now rotated around. He's now with Matt, and he's called out the fact that there are enemies up on top right. He's also kind of created a base collapse too. You can see PJ spawned up on the Car side. He's now collapsing over Car doors. This is just so perfect. And Frosty is not done staying alive here. He has some great movement to avoid this nade as well. Just times a nice quick jump thrust. He knows he's one shot. He's kind of compromised here. Somebody tosses a nade into the attic. Immediately, jump thrust gets out of there. So just the use of his mechanics, very efficient here to avoid these nades, to avoid gunshots, to stay up while his teammates get the kill. He's a big distraction in the situation. Now, the moment he gets that kill, he looks out into the map. Notice where his teammate is. You got Neptune in blue base. You also have Royal 2 behind Frosty over near pink side, and Snakebite at the red Car door. So if you can guess the spawns are going to be on Car side, right? Likely over on blue side Car, because he's blocking blue. Neptune's going to block blue. Royal 2 and the fact that Neptune's kind of in between pink and blue. This is going to block pink side. Red side car, of course, is blocked. You got Snakebite at the door, but blue side car, that bubble is definitely open, and Frosty knows it, so he calls it out to his teammates. They're all spawning car. They're all spawning car because Neptune is blocking blue, and he's trying to tell PJ that stay alive. They're all spawning car. Try to stay up here. Frosty makes such a heads-up play, knowing that all players are coming at a car here. He wants to keep them in car, but he also wants to make sure he doesn't overcommit himself. He's alone right now. His teammates are all kind of making a rotation. He's got one over pink. He's got Snakebite, who's over front car, and Neptune over on blue. He doesn't have immediate help in this door, so I love Frosty's positioning on this life. It is so damn smart. He backs up further. He fights from back here, which is just such a great way to counter this pressure on car side. It brings the enemies forward, and if anybody tries to toss nades, like normally they try to toss nades into red car door, and they blow up around here beside the lift. So if you're hanging out in this corner and trying to fight from right beside the door, you will take nade damage. You're going to die a lot faster, but Frosty playing it from the toilet here brings Falcated forward. He manages to get the kill on Fal. He avoids crucial nades in the process here. He doesn't get the kill on Fal. He gets the kill on somebody P1, stays alive, goes under base, and it keeps going. This is so damn exceptional. This was just great trigger, or great discipline, I think, to not jump and kill this enemy. So notice how you got an enemy on his radar. Frosty definitely notices this player, and he can very easily turn and jump and fight this player in the window, right? He can turn, he can crouch jump, he can take that fight. But instead, he focuses on car. That's where his teammates are. His teammates are taking fights on car. If Frosty jumps up, tries to get that fight in red, he's taking an isolated fight in that red base, and he may or may not win it. But this way, if he goes for car, he knows he's working with his team here. This is an easy team kill situation. And then he wraps around, he gets to double team this player in the bubble, and now he goes into red base. Now, instead of taking a 1v1 with Saiyan, now it's a full team flying up on Saiyan. He even coordinates a little kind of collapse here. He notices he's got Royal 2 on his right-hand side, so he says, Royal 2, push for me, push for me.
Right 2. Right 2, Saiyan. Matt, push him out for me.
Down blue 2.
I'm looking at Eli.
Down blue left.
He's one bullet, Matt. Right 2, dead. Good.
And you'll see that Royal 2 pushes up, takes position, and this is going to force Saiyan into a trap on both sides here. Saiyan has no choice but to kind of jump out. Saiyan almost kind of finesses his way out of this, but Frosty gets the kill. So just massive, massive plays here. And of course, something we're accustomed to seeing by now with Sentinels is the moment Frosty gets that kill on Saiyan and looks out red, look at where his teammates already are. PJ's up on top car, Trav's on bottom mid here making his way to top mid, and you've got Royal 2 going out to P2. They know exactly what to do the moment they get slays. They fan out, they control the important areas of the map, they force a spawn in the opposite base, and they're going to try to collapse and take out the players in spawn. If anything, Frosty's actually saying to wait a second, telling Trav to let them spawn blue, let them spawn blue. If he pushes up too early and starts firing shots in too early, it could force a spawn somewhere else. But despite that, Frosty notices Royal 2 dies on P2. This is a very important perimeter control here, so he's going to fly out, try to get into pink. At the same time, it's 5:46 on the board, so Camo coming up shortly as well. He makes his way up here, communicates with Neptune that there's Boo Boo on pink here, try to work together to get this kill. Neptune's a little trouble in his own fights as well, though. Frosty, I love the movement from Frosty here. He is one bullet here. Instead of going directly to pink, he backs up, and he puts himself in such a nice little position here to contribute to Camo, to watch over Camo, but also keep himself alive. And watch how he plays this corner. He kind of peeks out, but very safely peeks out, fires a shot, goes back. So kind of just gives himself the opportunity to really get back his shields and do damage and be a nuisance at the same time. He then rechalls, walks out confidently, finishes off Boo Boo. That's massive. Saiyan challenges him. He runs out of ammo. The guy finally dies when he runs out of ammo here. And honestly, I think Frosty does the best he can do with no ammo in this situation. Is he strafes, he gets the final 2 shots that he has in the Magnum into Saiyan, and strafes, and then tries to sprint melee at him. You can see he tries to sprint at him, and that's honestly the best you could hope for, is to try to close the distance quickly with a sprint, and then get the melee to try to put in as much damage as possible. Of course, if you get shot while you start up your sprint is crippled, so it's very hard to sprint at somebody and melee them if they're shooting you, of course, but that's the best thing he could have hoped for in that situation. Saiyan even ends up thrusting backwards into bottom mid, well weak, so he's got no thrust. He's bottom mid, he's in kind of a compromised position, so overall, just an amazing life from Frosty. He also burned the camo right before dying there, so it's 44-41. Game's not over yet, but it kind of feels like it is. Anyway, let's continue.
Matt, they're gonna be spawning all over red.
Inside bottom one hit, guys. Inside bottom one hit.
Matt, they're gonna be spawning red. They're gonna be spawning red.
There's a nade bottom, guys.
Listen, I'm flying up P2. Listen, everyone live. Everyone fucking live. P1, P1. Oh, P2 and P1, P2 and P1. Nice fucking kill, Matt. Can you guys look at P2 or what? Nice, look at P2. Look at P2.
One hit P2.
Oh, right car.
Red card on me.
Chav, I'm pushing. No, Peach, stay blue, bro.
Okay, I hear that.
Watch out, red on me. Red Peter.
Listen, I'm red bubble. There's a guy P1. You guys can maybe kill that guy.
Back, Brad.
Go.
Bro, I'm one hit, man.
Absolute P2. I think he might be on blue, PJ. Watch out.
Hear that.
Red 2 falcated. Red window.
Okay.
I hit him.
Brad, I'm looking for it. He went under, Brad. He went under.
Yeah. And ready light. Good fucking kill, Matt.
P2.
I got him. Another one following me. Last guy on me fell. I hit him. Good fucking shit, bro. Holy fuck, bro.
Shit, Brad.
Yeah, good shit, Brad. No, that was my bad. I started playing bad.
All right, finally, last sequence in the game here. This video is definitely over 40 minutes at this point, so if you're still with me, thank you for sticking with me. Let's close this out. But well, Frosty's down, he's on spawn. He calls out to Matt. Smart call out to Matt that red base is the spawn for the enemy, mainly because you can see Neptune's actually down right now. You've got PJ over near blue side car and Matt rotating off blue through top car to get over to red side. The spawn is going to be red side. That's just where that's the farthest spawn point for the enemy right now is red side, so it makes the most sense because PJ's over on blue side. They're kind of skewed to blue side at this moment. So Frosty saying they're going to be spawning red just to keep Matt aware, to let him know, just to play carefully, play his life carefully. Here you can see, even in that one little moment, there was one P3, one was flying into base. There was 3 players that we saw in total there. And Frosty, I think, kind of just mistimes things. You see he just sprints and he thrust slides out to P2. I think what he thought in the moment was that players were still spawning. Maybe he didn't see all 3, but that player on P3 maybe should have tipped him off that somebody would already have the timing to be, up in that spot over in P2 when he thrust slides out. I think when he's thrust sliding out, he believes that the red players had just been spawning in red and they're coming out red side pink, so he has good timing for this, but just a bit of a timing mishap here. He ends up flying right into Boo Boo Doo, gets melted immediately, which is kind of just what happens when you mistime these plays, but his teammates get big kills in the meantime. They're still trading out 46 to 43 at this point. Matt now dead, a red X here. He's got Snakebite in the base. He's got Trav, I believe, fighting up in red still as well, so he's going to rotate all the way across the car here, and then he plays it slow. This is a pretty cool life from Frosty. He tells Snakebite to stay in blue, to stay back and anchor. The Snakebite teammates will spawn up on blue side as well because of that. Frosty, in the meantime, knowing that his teammates are anchoring over on blue and that red's likely to spawn, he just plays this slow. He gets information here. He doesn't shoot at anything, and he just tries to get some sort of a flank to disrupt the enemy and get himself a nice trade just to finish off the game here. So I thought this was a really nice slow play from Frosty, and ends up spotting Falcated spawning in red, just walking out. Really nice nades as well. Take note of these nades. These ground bounce nades will bounce up diagonal and go right into the window, so he gets a hit marker with that nade. He's going to sprint out and try to chow that. He's got that player probably jumped out front, but he's got his teammates here to help collapse. 3-shot. Thrust forward, beat down on the bound, kill him as fast as possible, get shots into Falcated, calls it out, teammates wipe him out. That ends the game, 50 to 45. Honestly, incredible game. Maybe not Sentinels' finest, game overall, but for Frosty, it was incredible. Man went like 17 and 12, and you could see a little bit of Sentinels' game plan in these sequences here for sure. So there you have it, 50 minutes later, and we got a full game breakdown and our first look at how to play like Sentinels. Now, we very lightly touched on so many different concepts in this video, so it'd be hard to kind of wrap up everything, but I think a couple key points to pay attention to is just how Sentinels, how quickly and how efficiently they react to getting around a Slays, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 dead. That's a crucial opportunity, and Sentinels react to it so efficiently by always having a player anchored in the base, sending one out to pink, one out to car at least, so that they force that blue side spawn, and then they time their push together, sending 2 down both sides and collapsing on the base from both sides. Also, understanding that it's not always going to work out like that. Sometimes you get slayed, sometimes you're down in numbers, and recognizing those situations and playing your life carefully, jumping under the base and fighting from under the base to limit angles and try to get trades and slow down the enemy's ability to collapse or cripple their ability to collapse, so that you can reverse that situation on them. So a lot of different concepts covered. Also things like communication. Pay attention to Frosty's callouts. He has so many great callouts with his teammates. The way they play off of each other, the way they work together and talk to each other. This is all stuff you should take note of. And some of his techniques as well. Things like the scoreboard spring jump that he used to get up into the base faster and to capitalize on these plays faster. So tons of stuff. Overall, I hope you liked the video. Hopefully you found it informative and learned a thing or two that you can apply to your own gameplay to level up, either individually or with your team if you have a team. Of course, I didn't cover everything I could have covered in this video. There's so much that could be analyzed in Halo, so I definitely missed a bunch. If there's anything that you want to share, any theories that you want to provide on this video, you want to challenge me on something, whatever, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let's get a discussion started. Any other suggestions you guys have about future videos, or if you enjoy this content, you want to see more, you can let me know in the comments. You can also let me know by subbing. Hit subscribe. You can like this video as well and check out related videos on my right-hand side. That's everything for today. Good luck on your grind. I'll see you in the next one.